Hello. Welcome to Losing My Mind in the Forest, episode 6, I think. This is the show where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about, whether it's entertaining or not. I just have a good time talking to myself. This episode is going to be about my favorite movies. I've been getting kind of dark with these episodes, so I wanted to lighten it up with a movie list. There's a lot of people around me that can hear me, so this is slightly embarrassing, but I have a list of movies that I have been adding, movies that really, really hit me in the chest. You know, I really felt something when I watched them. Little disclaimer, I don't have the best taste in movies. I definitely watch a lot of them, but I wouldn't say I'm the best critic. I tend to like movies that are a little lower in the ratings, but they made me feel something. I just like movies that make me feel something, that make me not feel so alone. So let's get into the movies. And these are in no particular order. I'm not going to give any spoilers to these movies. I'm just going to talk about how they made me feel. Number 1 is Big Fish. Big Fish is for people with big imaginations, and it's a really lighthearted kind of romance, adventure, fun movie that makes me cry every time. A lot of these movies make me cry. Next, we have Howl's Moving Castle. I watch some anime. I'm not like a giant anime person, but I have watched a lot. And Howl's Moving Castle is just a big comfort movie. It's a romance anime. A lot of these movies, whenever I'm feeling down, I like to watch them over and over. I've probably watched Howl's Moving Castle 30 times. And I did lose my virginity to that movie. Maybe I shouldn't admit that. All right. Next, we have probably my number 1 favorite movie of all time, Donnie Darko. Words can't even describe how much I love that movie. It has everything I love. Romance, comedy, dark comedy, philosophy, horror. It's a great film, and Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. Seth Rogen is actually in that movie, believe it or not. But he's super young, and it's always funny whenever I rewatch it because he's not really acting like Seth Rogen in that film. If there's any movie I recommend the most, it's Donnie Darko. Next, we have A Ghost Story. I like slow movies. I used to not when I was growing up, but now I really appreciate slow movies that, again, make me feel something. So A Ghost Story is just one of those films that it's very slow, but you really feel emotions if you have any of those. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is another comfort movie. It has Jim Carrey. It was around the time that he was trying to do serious films, and it is somewhat serious. It's a romance in a weird way. It's a good, beautiful film. I also really enjoy just beautiful videography. That's my weakness. Like, even if the plot doesn't make sense, even if the whole theme of the movie is weird, if it's beautiful, I'm going to put it on this list. Next, we have The Fifth Element. There's a lot of classics on this list, and The Fifth Element is one of them. I think The Fifth Element is just a movie that everyone should watch in their lifetime. Bruce Willis is in it. I don't know why he makes me laugh, but he does. I like sci-fi, and it's definitely a sci-fi film that it's fun, it's action, but it's also beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Grosse Point Blank and Serendipity are on this list because I like young John Cusack. He makes my heart flutter. Those movies are just romance comedies that I enjoy, mostly because of John Cusack. And they're good films. They're great films if you like a romance comedy. The Big Lebowski, again, another classic that everyone should just watch. I like how the main character is a stoic and is like really chill with whatever, and I really resonate with that. So I like that. Those vibes really cracks me up. Okay, next we have the Twilight series, which I understand they're low-rated movies, but I think they deserve more respect because they're such a cult film, all of them. The whole series has such a big following, and I think the reason why is because Twilight embodies everything that a woman desires subconsciously or consciously. It's not really something that we want, but it just really shows what it's like to be a woman and have a female brain. So I think it deserves more praise for that. Another comfort movie. Probably every year I watch all 5 movies. Another thing I should not admit. I should not have said that. I should not have said that.
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
Okay, next we have Into the Wild. Into the Wild reminds me that I should not run away into the woods and never be seen or heard from again. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay, next we have Pride and Prejudice, another romance that I watch as a comfort film. When he does the little hand thing. Gets me every time. The Virgin Suicides I have on this list. I just like dark movies. I think that movie embraces or encompasses what it's like to be a teenager as a girl. I like movies that remind me of what it's like to be a teenage girl because I relate to them a little more than I should. So a very dark movie. American Beauty, another classic that everyone should watch. I don't really have anything else to say about American Beauty. I just think everyone should watch it. I think it's a good movie. American Honey is like an indie film that is very realistic. I like movies that are very realistic and not about upper class people like most movies are. I like movies that show poverty for some reason. I just think with a lot of, comedies and other films, you see people in these really big, nice houses, perfect family, and you're like, that's not real. Those people are upper class. It's off. So I like to balance that out with watching homeless people. Joker is next. I think everyone and their mother has seen Joker, but I thought it was a great movie. I quote it pretty often. The Florida Project, another slow movie, but it reminded me of what being a kid is like. I know that's not the point of the movie, but I forgot what it was like to see the world as a kid, and the children in that movie just reminded me of childhood in a way that no movie could ever do before. Lost in Translation. This has Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. And another slow film. I'm a sucker for the slow films. They're in Japan, I believe, and beautiful movie again, too. Slow and beautiful. That's my taste. Leon the Professional. This has Natalie Portman as a preteen. And I think it got a lot of shit because she kind of dresses a little older for her age. But that's part of the movie. And it makes sense that way, that she dresses like that. And it's a good movie. It's kind of an action movie a little bit. Next we have Parasite, just kind of a horror film, a unique horror film that is about classism, I think, a little bit. And it is subtitled because it's originally Japanese, I believe. But if you can't handle subtitles, grow up. Grow up. Watch movies in other languages. They're good. Origin. Oh my God. Okay. Billie Eilish said that this was her favorite movie in one of the interviews. And she was so right for that. Origin is a romance, dark romance film. Not really romance. A lot of these movies, I don't really know what genre to put on them because they're just unique and don't really fit any stereotypes. But yeah, that movie really made me feel something. Next we have 13. Another movie about being a teenage girl, a 13-year-old. But it's really dark. And I'm not really going to say anything else about that movie. Next is Hunt for the Wilder People. This is like probably the only light, happy comedy on this list. And my friend kept recommending it to me, and I kept looking at the trailer like, no, I'm not going to watch that. This is not my type of movie. It's a great movie. It's weird because it's kind of British, I think, but loved it. Great film. Just a light, happy comedy. Loved it. Bridget Jones' Diary is on this list because one time I went on a trip. I was feeling self-conscious about my social skills. And on the plane, they had Bridget Jones' Diary. And I watched it randomly. And it made me feel so much better. So much better. If you have social anxiety, watch that movie. It'll make you feel good. because the main character in that film is so socially awkward. I love it. I love it. Let me change the view for you guys more towards that way. Next on the list, we have The Glass Castle. This was originally a book. I never read the book, but it's about family, again, poverty. I have a thing for watching poverty. I should not say that. I should not say that. It's really about having like a drunk dad that promises empty promises. And I think it's based on a true story. So it's really sad. Very sad film. Next we have Place Beyond the Pines and Blade Runner 2049. I like Ryan Gosling, especially in Place Beyond the Pines. It's a very slow film, but he is all tatted up in that movie, and I am here for it. He should have real tattoos like that, especially on the face. I like that. And Blade Runner 2049, not as slow of a movie, but beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. How many times have I said beautiful? Take a shot every time. Next we have Black Bear, which I think Aubrey Plaza directed, and she's also the main character in it. I believe she directed it. And it's a psychological thriller, I think. It's definitely not everyone's cup of tea. Let me just say that. I wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone, but look into it. If you like Aubrey Plaza, you probably like this movie. Okay. Next we have Creep, which is a horror comedy that is, it's all shot on a handheld camera. So if you don't like that, don't watch this movie. But it makes me laugh. It's a little scary, but not gory at all. So if you like a little horror, I think that's a great movie. And it really does make me laugh. It's about a guy who answers a post on Craigslist asking for someone to film him all day. And the guy goes, and the guy ends up being a creep, a weirdo. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. It Follows is a horror movie that scared the living shit out of me for probably a month. Whenever I saw someone walking towards me, I had a heart attack. It's a great, great horror. It's not that gory. There's a few scenes I think that are a little gory, but I was able to get past them. I don't like gory movies. I do like horror movies. I like psychological thrillers more so. All My Friends Hate Me is the next film, and I only recommend this movie to people with social anxiety. If you have social anxiety, watch this movie. Please, you'll like it. If you don't have social anxiety, you won't get it. It is technically, I think, a horror film, but it's not that scary. I liked it. It's low rated, but if you're someone that doesn't care about how low rated a film is, watch this one. What a Way to Go is the only movie on this list that is old. I don't like old movies. I think this is a common view that a lot of people have. I'm talking really old, like 50s. I can't, they don't grab my attention. My brain is ruined by the movies made now, so I can't watch old movies. But this one's an old one. And if you like fashion, if you like set design, this film is amazing. And it's also, it cracks me up because it's such a dark theme for a movie. It's about a woman whose husbands keep dying on her. So it's, again, a beautiful movie, and totally, totally recommend it. Heaven Knows What. Okay, this movie was made by the same brothers who made Uncut Gems. It's a very slow movie about a homeless couple. I really enjoyed it. If you don't like slow movies, if you don't like indie movies, don't watch it. Hellraiser. Hellraiser is a horror, a classic horror. And I don't like gory movies. I don't like slasher movies. I don't like a lot of the classic horror movies. They just don't do it for me. But Hellraiser, one day on Halloween, my boyfriend and I put it on in the background because we were like, well, we should see it because we've both never seen it before. As we're carving our pumpkins, we slowly start watching the movie and really enjoying it. There's special effects in it that are amazing. It's gory, but the special effects kind of make the gore tolerable, in my opinion. And it's a really cool movie. Only classic horror movie that has made me put it on this list. I'm thinking of ending things. Now, this movie, when I watched it, I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't. It was too confusing, too artsy. I have a limit to that. But then I read the book. And the book is so amazing and really explains the movie better than the movie explains itself. So, yeah, now I think of that movie every week. And I love that author. Call Me By Your Name is a gay romance film. But it's really about first love. And I related to it a lot for being a gay movie. If you had a young love growing up, I think you might relate to it and like it. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. This one is kind of random, but it's a anime horror film. That's just really beautiful. If you like vampires and anime, you should watch it. It was really good. It's beautiful. You Won't Be Alone. You Won't Be Alone is a horror indie film. It's a witch horror indie film that is somewhat disturbing, but for the most part, amazing and very, very slow. If you can't handle slow movies, don't watch it. I really enjoyed that movie. It got really deep. It made me feel a lot of things. We're almost done. Saltburn. If you haven't watched Saltburn, what are you doing? I really like Barry Keoghan. He is cute. Not the other guy. It's Barry for me. Great movie. Very beautiful. Beautiful and dark. And slow. Somewhat slow. It's tolerably slow. Last but not least, we have Arkansas. This is a low-rated film, somewhat. I think it's in the 5s. But I really enjoyed it. I think the tone of the film is off because it's somewhat of a comedy, but it's really just a serious movie. Yeah, definitely don't recommend it for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. Those were all of the films. I didn't include some of them because I don't think I'd recommend some of them. Those were the ones I recommended. If you think that was bad, you should see the rest of them. Comment your favorite movie and maybe I'll watch it. If it is similar at all to any of the movies I listed, I am always looking for good new movies to add to this list. I'm kind of proud of this list, so don't make fun of it. I'm not a movie critic. I don't care about ratings. I care if it makes me feel some sort of way. I'm just trying to feel things again. Hope you enjoyed. I'm not going to talk about the weather this time. It's sunny. And you can tell. I'm actually sweating right now. Okay, that's it. Love ya.